Hey there, you're about to watch a quick clip from Marketing O'Clock. If you like what you see, we release new episodes every Friday with all the digital marketing news of the week. So we'd love you forever if you'd like and subscribe. Thanks.
Ginny Marvin from her @ads liaison tweeted out, today we announced we'll be deprecating, whatever you all want me to say, non-last click rules-based attribution models, which includes first click, linear, position-based, and time decay in Google Ads and GA4. Data Driven Attribution, aka DDA, is recommended and last click will remain available. That will remain available.
I think its days are numbered.
And she goes on to say more on why and the timing. Why? The use of rule-based attribution models has dropped significantly with the introduction of DDA 3 years ago. I'd argue against that. I've got DDA, lots of accounts. At the end of the day, attribution is made for a reason, and DDA, which is data-driven attribution, you can't see the formula specifically. It takes the analysis aspect out of it in a way, and I'll get to that in a minute. She goes on to say fewer than 3% of conversion actions in Google Ads use them now. DDA is the broadest adoption and is available to all businesses with no data requirements. She then says the timing. Time decay, position-based, linear, and first-click attribution models will no longer be available to new conversion actions in GA4 starting in May and in Google Ads starting in June. They'll begin to sunset in September. You just can't set them up in May and June, and then they're going to be gone in September. And if you don't know what these things are, time decay was basically like a half-life on a conversion. So it kind of would like gradually like decrease based on the time between touches. Position-based, you could set things in analytics with the certain model tool, like on the model comparison tool in GA3, and you could like build your own conversion attribution. It was something I use a ton. I would love to see for prospecting campaigns and like weight the first touch for 70, the middle touch for 20, the last touch for 10, or however you want to do it. And then also you could have removed things like direct traffic to really see where those touches came from. The other item that I don't know how you're getting rid of is a linear.
That's insane.
Linear takes every touch point that Google sees and it just splits the weight out.
It's so easy. Just keep it. It's something.
I have a theory as to why that's going away. And then first touch attribution, which is pretty important for many people, especially if you're targeting top of funnel, especially if it's a very tough purchase, if you have prospecting campaigns, etc. So those are all going away. You still have last touch attribution, which will let you see what actually helped to push that, the final touch that pushed the sale. But the biggest issue that I have with this is we don't know what the formula is for DDA, right?
It's been the complaint the whole time.
Yes. In DDA, it's going to be different for all your accounts. And at least with something like linear, you could have figured out what DDA is. That's why I think they're going to take linear away, is because if you could figure out and take a sample conversion and see that conversion was 25, 50, 20, and then 5 or something like that, you could figure out what the DDA like markup is for the day. Ginny also had mentioned in there's no data requirements. And when DDA first came out, if you recall, we reported back in July 2022 when Google Ads made DDA the main attribution default. The eligibility requirements at the onset of this was you needed to have a minimum of 15,000 Google search clicks, a minimum of 600 conversions for a conversion action within 30 days. And after you started with DDA, you needed to have 10,000 clicks for the account or 400 conversions for a conversion action within 30 days. And they kind of took that and threw it out the window when they launched this. So again, we used to have a variety of different options. Now moving forward, it's going to be data driven. And in the analytics side, I think is where it's going to hurt the most. Like, I don't think that you can just have, with this change, Google Analytics 4 anymore. You're going to need something better because we are in a data world, a world of data. Data's never been more important. And with something like DDA, you don't get to figure out what those formulas are that Google is saying is the most impactful. It just chooses it for you. You might have something that's performing or finding people, and if Google decides that's not impacting conversions, yes, I might have a tinfoil hat on at the moment. Like they might say Google Ads was the main driver of this conversion value here.
I'm sure they will say that too.
Why wouldn't you say that, right? So you can't actually see what that formula is now, which is honestly, it's a non-starter for many things. If you want to actually get data, you will have no data that you can use to analyze other than last touch with this. Everything else, you don't have the formula as to how they calculated it. And I would imagine even if you're in your Google Ads campaign, because DDA is in there as well, you might see some formats like a performance max or something that every rep under the sun is trying to put you in. You might see that saying, hey, this is the one that really drove the conversion. Problem is when Google decides what it is and doesn't tell you what it is, you can't make any scientific analysis of that because you don't know what those percentages are. Furthermore, Dwayne Brown followed up with Ginny and said, I just had to double check. This means the GA4 model comparison tool would have these attribution models removed in September. And Ginny said, the model comparison and conversions path reports will be available in GA4, but limited to cross-channel DDA, cross-channel last click, and ads preferred last click. Oh, weird. There's ads preferred. And she also said for DDA, conversion paths in GA4 will show conversion credits for early, mid, and late touch points and can be filtered in many ways, which is a giant nothing, and then has a bunch of other stuff here. So I am saddened for this, and I think it's time that we should come up with a recommendation for what analytics package to put on alongside of Google, because at this point, there is going to be far too many biases, in my opinion, for Google Ads when they are creating the attribution models while also offering an ad product. And people are going to roast me for it, but I don't care. That's my thoughts.